Matt, it sounds like we might have you. Are you there?
I think so. I think Riverdale did something to my system over here where my computer wouldn't work. They're already trying to start some stuff. It's not even Friday yet.
We were able to tap in their weight room, and we got their Wi-Fi signal.
Hey, you're the home team, though, Matt. You ought to have all that locked down, man.
No, actually, we're traveling to Riverdale this week.
Okay. Well, never mind then. At any rate, Matt, you got to be pleased. And Will was kind of talking about the way you guys have started out 2-0 with a couple of big victories, going up to Clarksville, picking up a big one, and then down in Cane Ridge this past weekend. Just talk about what you guys have got going on at this point, 2-0.
This is our third year here. I think the guys are starting to feel, more comfortable with us and how things are and ran. So it's been pretty good so far. Like I've told them all week, this is the biggest test we've got that we've had all season. So it's huge for us. So these guys are going to be ready to play, and we got to have a mistake-free ball game. We're currently, since being here, we're 0-3 against Riverdale, so it's a huge game for us.
Now, obviously, that 0-3 is tough for Blackman. It's got to be a little tough in this sibling rivalry as well. I mean, how much does Will remind you about that kind of thing?
I don't think it's more Will. I think it's more of his son and my son.
Yeah. Me and Matt don't seriously. We don't do the trash talking. It's the kids. The kids trash talk us more than anything.
That kind of makes sense because they don't necessarily have as much skin in the game necessarily, I don't guess.
Exactly. They don't have the parents and the fans breathing down their neck either.
There you go. Matt and Will Kreisky joining us here on Coach's Corner as we get ready for Blackman at Riverdale this weekend. High-powered matchup again. Blackman coming in at 2-0, but 0-3 in this matchup since these two have been at the top of their program. Riverdale coming off a 35-0 win over Father Ryan after opening the season with a 20-6 loss against Knoxville Catholic. Will, real quick, I didn't realize Knoxville Catholic had that kind of firepower. I mean, was that a fluke, or are they legit? Just out of curiosity.
No, I think they're a really good team. We all know Coach Chet Owens and what he's done in the past here at Smyrna and the teams he's built. They were fortunate enough to get a couple of linemen from Webb that is big and physical up front. Then they have two really good running backs that can run. And then also they got Tyreek King, man. Tyreek King, I think, is one of the top receivers in the state. He's a 5-star going to Tennessee. And, Tyreek King reminded me of some kids that we've seen here in the past that could play. I think they're the real deal. They got after Anderson County last week, so that shows that it wasn't a fluke.
Matt, I'm going to jump to you really quickly. I asked your brother Will about his quarterback, and I would be remiss not to ask about yours. Javion Elliott had a really good, showcase in the first game of the year up at Clarksville. Continued that last week against Cane Ridge. Kind of talk to me about your quarterback, what he does that makes him special, and what he can kind of do tomorrow to be a difference maker in the game for you guys.
One thing about Javion, he's a relaxed player. He doesn't let anything rattle him and get him worked up. And when he laughs all the time because he knows that's the opposite of me. And I think it's pretty neat for me and him working together and because we started off slow at Clarksville. We had they scored on a 77-yard touchdown run, and then our first possession on offense, we had two bad snaps. He came to the sideline. He had a smile on his face. He said, "Coach, we got this. Just calm down. Everything's going to be fine." And he handled it well. He was able to do some things in the game that really helped us out. We're fortunate. He's got some really good receivers. We got some young guys playing at receivers, and we also got some older guys with experience. He got like Brylan O'Dore, been leading the way. Kari Dixon. So we've got plenty of guys that also help him out. And his ability to scramble has also helped us offensively.
Will, when this Blackman job came open a few years ago and Matt threw in for it, what are you thinking as far as the possibility of having to face your twin every year in these type situations like you're going to face tomorrow night?
Yeah, it was tough. It came open, and I didn't. Obviously we talked about it, and I was like, Matt, that's the best job in the county. They got good zones. They got good fan base. Blackman has one of the top fan bases. I mean, I really believe that Riverdale and Blackman are one of the top two fan bases. Yeah, Oakland is Oakland, and they're unbelievable. But I think that if you see year in and year out the fan bases that Riverdale and Blackman have, they're loyal and they come around. And so when that job come open, I said, man, I don't want to do it. I don't want you to do it. But I mean, because Matt's the fourth head coach. This is my 10th season, and Matt's the fourth head coach in my era as a head coach at Blackman. So Blackman needs. Unfortunately, I don't want him to have stability there, but I believe if they get stability there, they're going to be one of the top programs, if not the program in the state, because that's just what they've been missing. Those kids have been missing that stability, and it's tough. And yeah, we didn't. I mean, obviously, I didn't want to play him, and I knew what type of team he'd build. He's going to build a physical team that's going to come at you, going to hit you in the mouth, and these teams aren't going to be scared, and they're going to be very well prepared. But again, as a competitor, you want to see that. You don't just want to just roll the ball out there and play somebody just to get a win. And I knew he could build something off that, and I knew that he could help keep promoting this county the way it needs to be promoted.
There you go. The Kreisky twins, Matt at Blackman, Will at Riverdale. The two will be squaring off off Warrior Drive tomorrow night. Guys, we appreciate y'all taking some time with us. Let me ask you, Will, you said Mama Kreisky wanted to tune in. Now, how will she be decked out tomorrow night?
She just wears a plain T-shirt. She doesn't wear anything that represents Riverdale or Blackman. I think maybe she might have a Riverdale shirt on and a Blackman hat on. It's tough for her. It's something that she don't like to do and like to see, and she knows how competitive we are. Like somebody wrote in the paper when we were kids. Me and Matt were playing a card game. He got mad. I beat him, and he threw a shoe at me, and I ducked and it went through the window. And so we had to spend our Christmas money repairing the window for my dad. So she knows the type of competitors are. And the only thing she said all week is, "Can y'all be nice to each other? Can y'all be nice to each other?" And we're nice to each other until 7 o'clock kicks off. He's a Blackman guy, and I'm a Riverdale guy, and we're both fighting hard for our teams to get the win.
Matt, how hard has it been for y'all to be nice to each other?
Oh, it's been fine. It is what it is. It's about our kids. Getting our kids prepared, ready for Friday night at 7. It's fun. It's fun. It's not only it adds a little extra to the game, but his kids are excited. Our kids are excited. It's going to be a great night of high school football.
Guys, we appreciate y'all taking some time with us again. Blackman Riverdale tomorrow night, highlighting our Week 3 schedule across Middle Tennessee. The Kreisky twins here on Coach's Corner. Thanks, y'all. Good luck. Joining us now here on Coach's Corner, Dickson County coach Jeff Tomlinson. The Cougars off to a 3-0 start, first time since 2012. Coach Tomlinson, good afternoon.
How are you guys?
How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing great. Getting ready to go to practice here in a few minutes. Doing great.
Well, great. Hey, we appreciate you taking some time with us, Jeff. Again, Dickson County off to a 3-0 start, dealing with a little adversity in the process. I understand that home games are not home games for you all this year.
Well, that is correct, but we haven't faced that adversity yet. We actually started just a minute, I'm sorry. But, yeah, we actually started on the road for 3 straight weeks. So we had on our schedule was 3 straight road games. Our first home game was supposed to be this week against Henry County, and that's been, of course, changed because of the construction on the field.
Okay. Walk us through that. Are y'all going to be able to get on your home field at all this year, or what is the plan? How is that going to shape up?
We really don't know. We don't anticipate being on our home field, maybe playoff time. But we've scheduled homecoming as the last game of the season just in case that we may be able to get on the field. But it doesn't look great. But we'll make the best of it. We're going to travel and we're going to play our home games over at Creekwood. And, we've got some things set up for over there to, really, showcase our school and our guys and make it as home as possible. And we're excited about it. So we're okay.
And I guess, if you can take the long view of it, things are going to be better once this gets over with. It's just kind of a bump in the road. But I also know that, you know, for your seniors and that kind of thing, it's kind of tough, a tough pill to swallow, having to deal with
Yeah,
that.
you hate it. You hate it for those guys, of course. They've taken it well, and they've you know, really showed some initiative of leading this football team, and I'm really proud of the way that they've handled it. And they're you know, they're doing a great job of accepting the fact of the way that this season's going to go, and it looks it's you know, and that's exciting to me is the way that they've taken over that leadership role in this team. As far as next year, yeah, we're really excited about being able to host at least 6, maybe 7 home games in the regular season next year on the new turf. You know, it's going to be a great setup. It's going to be, you know, state-of-the-art track around the turf, and you know, just a great atmosphere in the new Dixon Sports Complex.
The winning just got closer. All new Sportsbook, the latest gaming machines, live horse racing, and more. The Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
Winning just got closer.
Deep in a forest at Nashville Zoo, new creatures here for you to view. Phantoms graced in black and white swing high in trees of dappled light. In rocky crags, tall and steep, small antelopes with nimble feet. A wise old man with beard of white, a sentry perched on stony height. Amidst it all, a hunter lies, with coat of gold and steely eyes. A new adventure just for you. Leopard Forest at Nashville Zoo. Open now.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all, hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
833.
Busy bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Now
busy
ready,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with Riverstone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe the measure of any person or company is how you treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStoneHandlers.com.
Joining us now from Battle Creek High School, second-year football coach Justin Burham. The Grizzlies made a little history this past weekend, defeating Moore County 28-7 for their first varsity football victory after playing last year as a junior varsity program as a first-year school. Coach Burham, first of all, thanks for taking some time with us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having us on.
Absolutely. And second of all, congratulations. 21 unanswered points to close out that win against Moore County this past weekend. And I mean, I can't imagine what the environment was like as you guys were putting that thing to bed the other night.
Man, it was a great atmosphere, man. It was finally the kids got to reap the rewards of the hard work they've been putting in since we got here. It kind of just all came together, really. Defense had 6 turnovers, 5 interceptions, a forced fumble. Offense got it clicking. We had a chance to probably should have scored on our first drive, but we missed a read on a critical down, and we ended up turning it over on downs. But defense got an interception literally 2 plays later, and we go down, and I think we score in like 3 or 4 plays. And that kind of relaxed them a little bit, and we just kind of preached to them, like, remember the last time you were here before Mount Pleasant. Last time you was here, we We faced a really good Independence team, and they jumped up on us, I think 14-0, something like that. We had several kids that didn't get to play that game because of some stuff that had happened, but they jumped up on us 14-0. And the kids that we didn't expect to start ended up starting, but they rallied and they fought, and we ended up winning that game 28-21. They scored late. But they fought, and that's what it's about, being a Battle Creek Grizzly. And they came out and they did that, and it's reflected in the score.
One of the things that I would think you had to be kind of pleased with, Coach, was explosive plays. I mean, your first touchdown's a 47-yard pass from Colton Barber to Devin Green. Stanley Williams Jr. goes 95 yards to the house, and then Williams closes it out with a 50-yard pick six. I mean, did you feel like you guys, even under optimal circumstances, had the ability to be that explosive?
I think I felt that way since I've been here. I've said it to the staff, and I said it to the kids, and I said it to some coach fans. Like, we got some really, really explosive kids. They don't know it, but like, you see the kids wear the trackers and stuff. But the Titan vest, for instance, we wear. I had a kid already hit 23 miles an hour. Stanley Williams has hit 22, 21 miles an hour. Had a quarterback hit 19 the other day. I had multiple kids hit 20. So I know we have the ability to be explosive. We just haven't quite put it all together some shape, form, or fashion. And it's starting to show its head. So hopefully we can put it together again another week and really go out there and embody what we've been preaching and what we've been trying to harp on. And really, if the score don't reflect it, maybe their play does, and we get to see those things. But we for sure want to continue to build off of this, and then would have been a region opponent, go ahead and get a win and try to secure us a spot for the playoffs.
Justin, you mentioned just all the hard work that goes into building a program, a first-year varsity program, second-year program overall. Take us inside the locker room when you're talking to the guys after this past Friday night, just the emotions of them finally reaping the rewards of that, getting that first win of the season, the first one in the program history.
Man, it was a great environment. We just kind of told them, like, this is what we've been waiting for you guys to see, kind of that aha moment. But it was great to see smiles on their face and not see them come in. And we have to tell them, like, look, I know it seems like it wasn't in our favor score-wise, but you guys grew. You're going to have to give them that speech. And they kind of get to relax and get that woosah and get that pressure off their back. One of the coaches, like, when you go pull that grizzly off your back, I was like, nah, that thing's long gone. It was gone at the end of that fourth quarter. So it was good for them to kind of relax and have fun and come in this week and not have to have a pressure of winning. You know what I mean? You always want to get that first one out the way, but as I challenged this week, after you get the first one, the hard part comes. Now you got to get the second one. So that's what we're going to try to go get done.
You head over to Creekwood to open Region 5-4A action this weekend, and you've got some momentum going, obviously. How do you get these guys refocused?
That you got to reset your mind to 0-0. Everything that we still want to accomplish is ahead of us, and we can put a big dent in that accomplishment this week if we go out to Creekwood and take care of business and secure a region win. We got a 5-team region, so one win gives you really, really good odds to play the first week in November, and that is our goal, is to be playing and have a shot. Because when you reset to November, everybody's 0-0, and it's a week-by-week basis. One of the best things about this sport is when you line up to play on a Friday night, if you do your job to the best of your ability, sometimes the chips fall your way.
Columbia Power and Water Systems is dedicated to bringing our customers reliable, local service. Whether you're turning on a light switch, your faucet, or streaming on TV, our dedicated team members from here in Murray County work every day to keep you on. If you need us, call us 931-388-4833 or visit cpws.com. CPWS, local service, local support.
Zion Christian Academy at zioneagles.org or 931-388-7531. You can schedule your appointment to visit their beautiful campus. Again, zioneagles.org or 931-7531 to schedule your visit today.
speak to Coach Darnell about what has contributed to that turnaround for them to this point as they, again, head into region play this weekend. So looking forward to speaking with Coach Darnell here in just a bit.
Looks like he's here now, no?
There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, William Darnell, coach of the undefeated Whites Creek Cobras, joining us here on Coach's Corner. Coach, thanks for taking some time with us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. I appreciate y'all taking time to bring me on, David and Maurice.
Coach, again, 5-0 heading into this weekend's Region 5-3A opener against Westmoreland at your place. And the program has had its struggles here over the last little bit, I guess, prior to this year. What has turned things around for you guys to this point?
Oh, many different things, Maurice. One of the main things, just the culture. The culture has changed. With before I got here, there were several good head coaches that came in, and none of them really stayed long enough to set the culture. But I've been here. This is going my 5th year here. So I've been able to set some things in motion, and now we're seeing the fruits of it right now. So culture is big, and then also we've got some good talent, good kids, and I've got a great coaching staff to help me make sure this train is running.
You know, you said this is your 5th year, so these are all, quote, your guys. I mean, these guys haven't played for anybody other than you. And when you talk about setting the culture and that kind of thing, as we talk to coaches from time to time, they know what your expectations are, and there's not been any deviation from that or having to, train any of these guys in any other way, I guess, or untrain any of these guys. And I would imagine that that's a big thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. And then the group that we have now, Maurice, they've done where they came from with the middle schools and youth football leagues, has also helped us out in setting their culture. They already had high expectations where they came from. So I'm very thankful for that.
Coach, again, got Westmoreland coming up this weekend. How has your schedule to this point gotten you ready for this matchup right out of the box?
Well, one, Westmoreland with the double wing offense, we've seen it a couple of times this year already. So we're grateful for that. And then we played a couple more teams kind of built like Westmoreland, personnel wise, as well. So we're looking forward to the matchup. Coach Harrison did a great job at Westmoreland. And we're getting ready for a good night tomorrow.
Coach, you have one of the best signal callers in the Mid-State with Deion Barnes, and you have one of the best wideouts in the Mid-State as well, Darius Holland. What makes those two so special and so unique and a joy for you to coach? And I mean, the numbers speak for themselves through the first 5 weeks of the season.
Definitely. The talent speaks for itself. You can see that on the film. You can see that every Friday night. But I'm gonna be honest with you, David. What makes it a joy? You mentioned the word joy. What makes it a joy to see those guys every day? They're great kids. Great kids. Very well-spoken young men, very amenable young men. Yes, sir. No, sir. Young men, and great students as well. So it's a pleasure. It's one thing I told my coaching staff. I got a lot of young coaches on my staff right now. I told them, I said, cherish this time when you got, kids that want to win, that are willing to do whatever you ask of them, and very respectful at the same time, and great students. Those guys are A and B students. So I'm very, very grateful for their families deciding to let them come to Whites Creek, and I'm excited to work with them each and every day.
And what's crazy about those guys, Coach, is just that they're so young. I mean, they just continue. It seems like week by week, when I'm looking at box scores, just talking to reporters around the area, they just get better every week, and they're still so young. So it seems like that sky is just the limit for those guys. Obviously, with Holland having already multiple Division I offers, it seems like the sky is the limit for those two.
Definitely, they're young as far as their classification, but they put a lot of work in, a lot of time in. They do a lot of work over the weekend. with different trainers and things of that nature across the city. Appreciate them as well, contributing as well. They got a community around them. Those two guys, they've got good parents, good foundations. A lot of people are pouring into them, and you're seeing the fruits of it right now.
William Darnell, coach at Whites Creek, joining us here on Coach's Corner. And Coach, you mentioned, you appreciate those families for sending those student athletes to you at Whites Creek. There's kind of been a little bit of a drain on athletic talent in Metro Nashville over the years, and having to kind of fight that, I guess, to get guys that are supposed to be at your place. How difficult has that been, and how much has being able to retain your talent played into the success that y'all are having right now?
It's difficult, Maurice. There's a lot of great programs in mid-state, public and private. So there's a lot of options for these kids coming out of middle school. One thing that we try to do here at Whites Creek is just continue to build our culture, build our brand, and make it attractive to families and athletes to want to be a part of what we got going on out here at the Creek.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy at zioneagles.org or 931-388-7531. You can schedule your appointment to visit their beautiful campus. Again, zioneagles.org or 931-7531 to schedule your visit today.
Is your internet slowing you down? It's time for an upgrade. Whether you're at home, working from your home office, or at your business, it's time to unleash the speed you need with speeds up to 1 gig at CPWS for as low as $70 a month. Give us a call, 931-375-7777. Local service, local support, CPWS.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Top 5 category today is forgotten college football stars or studs. And Calvin, this kind of popped in my brain because you watch a lot of these games, and that's the beauty of college football, is you're kind of always welcome back on campus, if you leave in good enough graces. And it's fun to see the who's who and kind of who's on the sidelines. So that kind of prompted me to come up with our top 5. I'm going to let you kick things off. Your top 5, your first selection, I should say, of forgotten college football stars, partner.
Yeah, this one's probably not as forgotten, but I only picked him because more people would probably know him if his NFL career would have gotten off the ground better than it did. But Justin Blackmon at Oklahoma State, those early 2010s, he was just dominant. He caught 38 touchdowns over his last 2 seasons at Oklahoma State. He's a 2-time All-American. Only played 2 seasons in the NFL, but his sophomore year in 2010, he caught for 1,700 yards, and that's just like a stupid number. He's not totally forgotten. He's a lot of times in those conversations with some of the best college wide receivers of all time, but more people would definitely know Justin Blackmon if his NFL career would have gotten off the ground.
Yeah, that guy was an absolute menace to start and just burst on the scenes and just kind of must-see TV, really. I would go out of my way to watch their games just to see some of the numbers and things that he would do. And you're right, it's unfortunate that it didn't pan out, unfortunately, the way that he really would have liked to. And who knows, better start. Maybe we're talking about something a little different. My number one on this list, I've got some real trip down memory lanes, but this one popped up immediately. We were talking about Alabama earlier. Tyrone Prothro, had the horrific injury that everybody has, seen and tried to forget and been forced to watch again. But this was a guy that was, second team All SEC and really kind of had a lot of juice. Felt like, and this was kind of in the infancy of Alabama starting to maybe creep out of mediocrity there. He was one of those guys that really kind of was a playmaker and a big difference maker for them. The injury and the catch, obviously, will be immortalized, but he never took off the rest of his career. And, in 2007, he was officially retired in that sense. Tyrone Prothro, kind of what could have been, but, man, he was fun to watch while he was active.
Yeah, I was a little too young for Tyrone Prothro. I think I was about, maybe 2 years old when he was at Alabama. But, I tried to keep my list to mostly guys that I saw play. So my number two pick, I'm going to go with Percy Harvin at Florida. He was kind of a Swiss Army knife for those Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow Florida teams. Out of all the NFL guys that were on those teams, Tebow, the Pouncey brothers, Percy Harvin is, one of those guys that probably gets talked about the least. He had 9.2 yards per rushing attempt the year that Tim Tebow won the Heisman. They used him at receiver in the backfield everywhere. And Percy Harvin's just kind of one of those underrated. A lot more people know Percy Harvin's NFL career because he was so good in the league. But Percy Harvin, I hardly see people talk about his time at Florida.
Yeah, man, you go back and watch some of them clips, you just see how good he was, and you also obviously see just how insanely loaded some of them teams were for the Florida Gators. Good pull there. Up next, if you didn't know Prothro, you're not going to know my next pick. I remember trying to dial up the old school satellite dish to watch Oregon versus UCLA. I think 1998. Cade McNown for the Bruins, but this quarterback for the Oregon Ducks was really kind of why I was tuned in. We're talking about Akili Smith, who, he gets drafted by the Bengals. He never kind of really reached any sort of potential that we thought he might coming out of college. But Akili Smith in the Oregon days, they got the old school Donald Duck logo. Give me that for nostalgia purposes alone. I loved watching him, even though it took me about 25 minutes to find it on a bootleg satellite dish back in the 90s.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a gap between our, timeline that we're picking players from. So, my third one, I'm going to go with a guy. He's probably known more for his NFL career because he played a really long time in the NFL, but Darren Sproles at Kansas State, he was one of the smallest guys playing Power 4 football. He was only about 5'7". He ran for almost 2,000 yards as a junior. But, just somebody that small, dominating power conference football like that. People talk about the NFL career, played a really long time with the Eagles toward the tail end of his career. But absolutely electric at Kansas State was Darren Sproles.
Yeah, he was lightning in a bottle. I remember tuning into some K-State games. K-State's had some electric players back in the day. Up next on my list, this is a little bit of a, pardon the pun, curveball. But I just saw this name on a list and I said, oh yeah, you forget. This guy was a long tenured 2008 to 2020 pro in Major League Baseball. But once upon a time, former Major League pitcher Jeff Samardzija was a great wide receiver. He didn't start his first 2 seasons for the Fighting Irish, but by the end of his career in 2005, 77 catches, 15 touchdowns. That was in the Notre Dame USC, the Bush push kind of heyday right there. Jeff Samardzija back in the day, an elite wide receiver, and then obviously goes on to make millions as an MLB pitcher.
Yeah, Jeff Smart's a really good baseball player for a long time. My number 4 pick, it's going to strike a nerve with Titans fans, but I saw him torment MTSU for a couple of years while I was there. Malik Willis at Liberty. He was just really good as a runner and a passer when Liberty joined Conference USA a couple of years ago. Alongside Western Kentucky, Liberty just dominated the conference with Malik Willis. And coming out of Liberty, when the Titans drafted him, people thought that he was going to be a really electric player alongside Derrick Henry. Obviously, that never panned out. Traded Malik Willis shortly after, a season or two down here in Nashville, but was a really good player at Liberty.
Yeah, fantastic guy. He had the goods, and he made Liberty fun to watch, even though a lot of those highlights came against some of our favorite Blue Raiders back in the day. Good pull there. Up next for me, this is a big SEC one, trip down memory lane, Marcus Lattimore. You want to talk about a guy that was just rolling and everything was clicking, seemed like he was the next can't miss thing. And again, injuries, 2012 season, one of them against the Vols in late October. Tough situation. He goes to the draft. He goes to the NFL, never really latches, does not even record an official carry in the NFL. But Marcus Lattimore, one of the all-time forgotten college football stars.
Absolutely. And then closing us out, this guy's a little bit less known because he played football in the SEC at Kentucky. But Benny Snell ran for over 1,000 yards all 3 years he was at UK, was on those late 2010s teams that won 8, 9, 10 games a couple years, beat Penn State in the Citrus Bowl. NFL career really never panned out, but he was a really good player at Kentucky in a school that, is obviously not known for being a good football program.
Good pull there. My last pick, Denard Robinson, Michigan Wolverines QB. He was on the cover of NCAA football. He's an icon, but didn't pan out much beyond that. Kevin and I are going to debate the top 5 TV shows that we have discovered later in life or after the fact. But before we get into Top 5 Tuesday, if you are tired of buffering and slow internet speeds, upgrade your life with Columbia Power and Water System Internet. Get lightning fast internet with speeds up to an incredible 1 gig. Stream, game, and work seamlessly, all for $70 a month. If you're looking for local service and local support, visit cpws.com, or you can call 931-375-7777 and tell them your friends at Main Street Sports today sent you. Calvin, we're debating the shows that we discovered after the fact. There's no ridicule here because we've all stumbled upon things late in life sometimes. So with that being said, I'm going to tip it off to you. Start us off with our top 5 shows that we discovered later in life.
Yeah, the diehard TV watchers are going to get after me for this one, but I was scrolling through Netflix a couple weeks ago just trying to find something to watch. And I was scrolling, and they have that section that's called, like, top shows. And I realized I had never seen How I Met Your Mother. And so I started watching How I Met Your Mother about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm all the way through, or I think I'm halfway through season 4 or 5 right now with my girlfriend. Everybody always talked about it. I realized I had never seen it, so I'm about halfway through How I Met Your Mother right now.
Not bad. And I got on a kick with that show 7 or 8 years ago, and I realized I was late to it. And I watched quite a few, maybe a couple seasons worth, but I never did finish. So that's something that I need to go back and revisit at some point. So that is a good pull to start things off. Hey, look, I know we had Chip on the show, but I'm going to go ahead, and Chip would kill me for saying this, but The Sopranos is my number 1. And I have a weird thing with The Sopranos, Calvin. I watched the first season of The Sopranos like 3 times, but for some reason I couldn't bust through into season 2 until about 2 years ago. And then finally I busted through and I finished it all, and it was amazing. And then I was sad that it was over. I didn't have any more episodes to watch. But for some reason, The Sopranos had always eluded me. I knew how great it was, but I never watched it fully until about 2 years ago. So that's got to be my number 1.
Yeah, that's another one of those shows that everybody always talks about as being one of the best of all time, possibly, and I've never got around to watching that either. But hopefully my second pick, this show, it debuted when I was about 7 or 8 years old. So I didn't watch it from the beginning when it first aired. But when I got into it about late middle school, high school, I decided I was a really big fan of the show. But I was late to the Walking Dead train. That show came on when I was about 7 or 8. But when I got on there, and it was a really good show. The later seasons weren't as great as the beginning and the middle, but I started watching about season 2 or 3 probably, and I was hooked.
Yeah, and what you said is accurate. That's one of those shows that started off hot. I don't know that they're still making seasons, but it feels like every time they came out with a new season, by the end, everybody's like, wow, we're really still doing this. But those early seasons, oh yeah, they were gold. No doubt about that. As that's a good pull there for your number 2. My number 2, I'm in the midst of watching this. I'd seen the first season or 2, but never finished it until now, and I'm chugging through it as we speak with me and the missus. Better Call Saul. Love Breaking Bad. Have seen Breaking Bad a couple of different times from start to finish, but never got into Better Call Saul all the way. But now I'm on a steamroll, finally plowing through the first 3 or 4 seasons, and no end in sight. So I'm going to be determined to finish Better Call Saul. That's my number 2 on this list.
Yeah, I've always been a bigger movie person than a TV person, so I've never seen Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. So all the TV diehards are going to come for me in the comment section. But
that's tough.
Yeah, but my number 3 pick is another show that first came on TV when I was a little bit younger. But it's a show that I've seen all the way through probably 2 or 3 times, but The Office. The humor is not everybody's cup of tea, but it's funny to me, and so it's something that I've seen a couple times through now.
That's a good pick, and I still have yet to watch. I think the first episode just came out last week, but they're doing a spinoff of The Office on Peacock, and it's called The Paper, and it's about a newspaper. So I feel like we should get Dave Gould to provide everybody with Peacock memberships so we can all watch The Paper here, and so we can give proper reports. But The Office is about as good as it gets. Classic show, and I'm due for a rewatch on The Office. That's one of those shows you can just flip on at any given time and just pop right in and out of. Up next for me, this predates you, Calvin, by a wide stretch. It almost predates me, but I didn't know anything about this show. I got a feeling producer Mark will like this pick here. But I'd never heard of or even seen an episode of Twin Peaks until around 2015. And then the moment I watched the first episode, I was hooked. Love David Lynch, his movies, and I don't know how I didn't know anything about Twin Peaks until then. But Twin Peaks is a show that I am very thankful that I discovered, even though it was some 15, 20 years after the fact. A great 90s early sitcom. Well, not sitcom per se, but an early 90s drama, we'll call it.
Yeah, I can't even say I've ever heard of that show. So sorry, Mark. But pick number 4 for me is going to be Ozark. It's one of those shows where they only made a couple, I think 3 or 4 seasons maybe, but it's one of those ones that my girlfriend and I found on Netflix while we were in college. We banged it out. We watched it all the way through in a couple months, I want to say. But we found that really late. It was a really good show.
Yep. Wife loves Ozark. I've only seen the first season and a half. I still haven't finished it, but everything that I've watched is great. I just don't know why I haven't finished it at this point. That's a good pull by you. My number 4, I didn't watch this in real time. I wasn't too far behind. It was maybe just finished up, but Mad Men, one of my all-time favorite shows. Enjoyed that. Real quick, Calvin, you're number 5.
Number 5 is going to be Big Bang Theory. Another one of those shows that debuted when I was little, so didn't get to see it from the beginning to end, but I've seen that all the way through as well. That's another really good show that I got onto later in the game.
Absolutely. My number 5 is Band of Brothers. Didn't watch it early, but I've seen it 3 or 4 times now. It's great stuff from early HBO days.
Deep in a forest at Nashville Zoo, new creatures here for you to view. Phantoms graced in black and white swing high in trees of dappled light. In rocky crags, tall and steep, small antelopes with nimble feet. A wise old man with beard of white, a sentry perched on stony height. Amidst it all, a hunter lies, with coat of gold and steely eyes. A new adventure just for you. Leopard Forest at Nashville Zoo. Open now.
Jones and Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
We're talking sports across all genres here, all modes. It can be anything, but stadiums that are on your sports bucket list. You got the first pick today.
Yeah, I've always been a big college basketball fan. That's my favorite sport. Haven't got the chance to really travel around and get to some of the bigger arenas. I've been to Cameron Indoor, just not for a Duke men's game. MTSU played Colorado up there, women's basketball, the women's tournament a couple years ago. But my number one pick is going to be Allen Fieldhouse over in Kansas, where the Jayhawks play. That's the best environment. You know, I've obviously never been, but everybody says it's the best environment by far in college basketball. So I would love to get out there for a game one time eventually.
Yeah, that one is about as good as it gets. And, Kansas is, luckily, more often than not, they're really, really good, really, really loaded. Last year they were preseason number one, didn't do so hot. But the energy and the intensity is there. I'm with you. That is on my short list of places to get out to as well. I'm going to scratch West Virginia off my list because they were kind of the basis for this pick here. And these are kind of in no particular order. But Death Valley, if you could guarantee me a night game at Death Valley, and for the record, I'm talking about the one in Baton Rouge because they won that battle versus Clemson this year, so I don't want any Clemson fans. I've been to the Clemson Death Valley, and it was, take it or leave it. But give me a night game at LSU, Death Valley. That's the one that I want to try and hit up before I pass.
Yeah, always looks really fun on TV. LSU is usually pretty good. But my list is very college basketball heavy. My number 2 pick would be the Dean Smith Center, where the Tar Heels play. That one's always live on TV. Just a really raucous environment. Just like Allen Fieldhouse, I would love to get out there for a game because more often than not, North Carolina is good enough to pack that thing out regularly.
Absolutely. That is a good one. That Clemson game, I went to Clemson MTSU's in 2009, and that was before Clemson was really, really rolling. So maybe I should go back. I feel a little bad maybe disparaging the Tigers there, but I still stand by my LSU Death Valley number 1. Number 2 for me on this list, this is kind of a quote-unquote basic answer, but I'm going Fenway Park. Man, give me a game at Fenway Park. Red Sox playoffs would be even better. Give me a postseason game, but I got to go a little basic there, but Fenway Park's my number 2.
Yeah, that was my next pick, and it was going to be my number 3. Red Sox more often than not, they had years there where they would go from, worst to first and things like that. But over the last couple of years, they've at least been pretty decent to fill it up mostly on the regular. But it's been the same stadium for 100 years. It's part of history. It's one of the most famous stadiums in any sport. So would love to get out there for a game. Wade appears to be frozen. Are you frozen,
I'm back.
Wade?
I'm back, partner. Give us your number 3. We're running a little thin on time here.
My number 3 was Fenway, but moving to number 4, I'd say Wrigley Field, the Cubs. Like Fenway, just another iconic stadium. Obviously, the Ivy out there. Cubs more often than not are decent enough to fill it up, and just would like to just go and see, one of the most famous stadiums in baseball.
I'm with you. Fenway / Wrigley. I was going to flip a coin because I don't want to double up on those two. But yes, I went with Fenway, but Wrigley would be right there as well. I will double up here with my third pick, and then I'll take my fourth, and we'll close with you with number 5. Number 3 for me is Lambeau Field. It certainly helps that the Packers are rolling right now, but it'd be epic to get up there. This one, number 4, I want to predicate by saying only if the Knicks are good. But if you give me like a playoff game when the Garden is rocking, oh man, it would give me goosebumps. I'd love to be there just to check it out one time. So MSG's up there for me as well. Your last one.
Yeah, and then, just a note on Madison Square Garden, there's a bunch of college people that call games in there that say when the Knicks are good, it does not compare to when good college teams are in there. The Garden is different when the Knicks are good. But my number 5 pick is going to be the Breslin Center, where Michigan State men's basketball plays. Tom Izzo's had that program. He's got the longest streak of consecutive NCAA tournaments made. He's made it almost 30 years in a row. They fill that thing up on the regular, and it's loud even on TV.
The Michigan fan of me doesn't like that, but I respect it. My number 5 is Arkansas football. If they can call the Hogs when they're rolling, I love it. Pretty good list by both of us here. And I'm going to load my Ticketmaster account and see how much money I don't have right now. But give us your number 1 pick for your non-college football favorite activities in the fall. Last weekend, not the best slate. So if you wanted to buy some brownie points or you wanted to score some, you could go out and maybe do some of these activities.
Yeah, it's we're not, we're closer to that point now, but when we get kind of, at the beginning of the fall season, you can't really do this. But at this time of year, it's we're getting pretty close to people decorating their houses for Halloween. Go out and buy you some spooky materials and spookify your house for Halloween.
That is a good one. We have yet to do that just yet, but it is imminent here as far as getting things ready for Halloween. That is a great pick. Number 2, or my number 1, I'm going to go in a similar vein, and I've already got the text. It won't be this weekend, but it'll be coming up soon. I refuse to back down because we got too many good games this weekend. But the pumpkin patch is on the list. And if you're in any sort of relationship, your significant other, there's 2 types of people. One that wants to go to the pumpkin patch and one that does not. I don't mind a pumpkin patch, but it's on my number 1 list because it happens almost every year.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next pick as well. We're kind of in the same boat. I'm not really a huge fan of them, but, sometimes we make sacrifices to go. If any of our viewers have good pumpkin patch recommendations, drop them in the comments for me and Wade.
Now you're talking. Yeah, help us help ourselves, I suppose, with that. Number 2 for me, we do this more in the summertime, but I do enjoy it when we can pull it off in the fall. We did this the opening weekend, actually, of college football. But camping, give us an overnight trip. East Tennessee in particular, so many good spots to go camping over there. Love a good camping trip, kind of just unplug a little bit, that way if your team loses, Calvin, even if it's to a team you're supposed to beat, it's kind of almost like it really didn't even happen when you unplug like that. So I'm going camping with my number 2 pick.
Yeah, can't say I've ever been camping, honestly. It's been on somewhat of a bucket list for a while, but, hoping to get to that eventually.
Yeah.
But, my number 3 pick is going to be a fall festival. You can't find these everywhere, but in Lebanon where I grew up, they had a little fall festival during October. You could kind of walk around and get all your Halloween needs, and it was kind of like a little mini fair. You had a bunch of people with their different booths set up and stuff, and you can get all your cool knickknacks that you want. I'm going fall festival, pick number 3.
Electric pick there. That's kind of the cousin of the pumpkin patch a little bit, Oktoberfest, festivals, things of that nature. You got a lot of different cool stuff to get into. I'm with you there. My number 3, I'm torn on a couple, but I'm going to go with this one for number 3. Give me kind of a fire pit / backyard barbecue, But without the games, I still want to invite my friends, and the significant other may say, hey, this is more of a get-together, not a football watching endeavor. But you can still sneak in and watch a game if you need to for just a little bit. But I love a fire pit this time of the year. Maybe even throw a projector up and watch a movie in the backyard. That's always a good hit as well. That's my number 3.
Yeah, I had that on my list as well, but it was not my next pick. My next pick is going to be the farmers market. Kind of in the same boat as that fall festival, but it's a place where you can go and get some homemade snacks, some homemade goodies like treats and cookies and stuff like that. Can still find your knickknacks and things that you can find at the fall festival, but it's just one of those things that makes you feel like fall is here.
Yep, that is as good a pick as you could pull. Number 4 for me. This feels like cheating a little bit, and this is one of those things I always kind of say I want to do, but I really don't even end up doing it as much, but a nap on a Saturday. Usually if I'm in a spot where I can nap, I'm probably going to have at least one eye kind of open, on college football. But if I could tuck away for at least a little bit, give me like a 90-minute nap on a Saturday, wake up, feel rejuvenated, maybe after going to a fall festival or before. But something like that. Give me a little nap for a Saturday, and I'm going to be A-okay.
Yeah, those naps are really good if the Saturday morning slate of the games aren't as good and you want to have
Now you're talking.
Have some fresh energy for the nightcap. But my 4th pick, I'm going to say go on a walk or a hike. It's that part in the year where, it's not 100 degrees outside and we can stand to be outside for longer than 10 minutes at a time. Around this time of the year is when the leaves start falling off the trees and things like that. And it looks a lot better outside. Nice little walk is going to be my number 4 pick.
Hey, I'm with you. And this is sneaky related to the walk. I don't get to do this as much, but my favorite time by far to be out on the golf course is around this time of the year. If I could randomly find a bud, or I could randomly, sneak away and sneak in 9 holes on a Saturday where it's in the 70s, or if you go early, even a little bit cooler than that, that is my favorite time to be out on the golf course. Don't happen as much as I'd like, but if you can give me a Saturday on the links when the games aren't really that great, I'm all about it.
Absolutely, and golf is miserable. As much as I love golf is miserable when it's above like 85 degrees outside. You start sweating everywhere, and it's already a game where you have to have intense focus. It's hard to focus when the sweat's in your eye and the club's slipping out of your hands and things like that. The balls start spraying everywhere. You got to open a new case of balls every 2 holes. But my number 5 pick is going to be the bonfire. Kind of along with the walk, it's that time of year where it's finally somewhat cool enough to even consider having one. You can have your friends over, can grill out if you want to because it's still warm enough to do that. But nice little bonfire on a football Saturday or Sunday.
I love that. Give me a s'more any day of the week, but really give me a s'more this time of the year. That is pretty good. Producer Mark didn't produce a top 5, but he said he likes to get his kayak out. This is about the last little weekend or two where you can do it before the water starts getting too cool. But I'm with you there, Producer Mark. What a wild show that it has been, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. Thanks again for tuning in to Main Street Sports Today, presented by TOA of Columbia. Have a good Tuesday.